Yeah, he loves to be in camera.
And it's elected.
Andy?
Read my lips.
Yeah, there it is.
We were only doing names.
Certainly do.
Connie.
Put up your nostrils.
Don't fall asleep, my girl.
Come on.
Okay.
Oh, that's so much
Real estate, real estate.
Jammies and candy. Candy.
You like that guy?
I'm gonna show you how to make that jolly gazelle. He's a jolly old fellow.
You're just in time, huh? Thanks, Ron. What customers I am, public speaking.
That fit, that little tight for you, Dad? You have to wear that one when you go to Duke, when you go to,
One need it for nice restaurants. That's how you get one that really clean. That's why I was asking.
What happened?
Hi, Grandpa. How you doing?
Fine, how are you?
Pretty good.
Thanksgiving 95.
Yep. Almost that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You gotta give him credit for trying. You know.
What?
Yeah.
Angela's got the number for you.
At this point, I would like to invite, and I quote, the very voice of God, Grandpa Roy Steele, to the mic to share a brief prayer over these two beautiful people.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thought for weeks what the prayer would be, as you have. And I think of the anointment of Titus and Yana. But as I came here today, I realized with his help, all things have been said that need to be said. We thank God. We ask for the presence of Jesus and the assistance of the Holy Spirit and the ability to conquer all enemies. And the theme is love. Thank you, Heavenly Father.
Now for the Oakland Athletics. Here is the manager of the A's, number 23, Dick Williams. And special recognition to a great ball player injured in the playoffs, unable to play in the World Series, Reggie Jackson. Batting first and playing shortstop, number 19, Campy Campaneris. Batting second and playing right field, number 14, Matty Alou. Batting third and playing left field, number 26, Joe Rudy. Batting fourth and playing third base, number 6, Captain Sal Bando. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 5, Mike Epstein. Batting sixth and playing center field, number 25, George Hendrick. Batting seventh and catching, number 38, Gene Tennis. Batting eighth and playing second base, number 1, Dick Green. Batting ninth and pitching, number 30, Ken Holtzman, who's warming up in the bullpen. And here are the remaining players and coaches of the Oakland Athletics. Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the commissioner's box where Lefty Grove, who in 1931, the last year the Athletics were in the World Series, won 31 games and lost only 4, and who in 1969 was voted the left-handed pitcher on the all-time All-Star team, will throw out the ceremonial first pitch.
In his prime, Lefty Grove could throw harder.
And now for our starting lineups. First of all, for the visiting Boston Red Sox. The leadoff batter, number 26, Wade Boggs, third base. Batting second, number 17, Marty Barrett, second base. Hitting third, number 6, Bill Buckner, first base. Batting fourth, number 14, Jim Rice, left field. In the fifth position, number 25, Don Baylor, designated hitter. Hitting sixth, number 24, Dwight Evans, right field. Batting seventh, number 18, Glenn Hoffman, shortstop. Hitting eighth, number 29, Danny Schaefer, catcher. And in the ninth position, number 42, Dave Henderson, center field. Warming up in the visiting bullpen tonight, starting pitcher for Boston, number 19, Jeff Sellers. And now your 1987 Oakland Athletics. The leadoff batter, number 22, Luis Polonia, left field. Batting second, number 2, Tony Phillips, second base. Hitting third, number 44, Reggie Jackson, right field. Batting fourth, number 33, Jose Canseco, designated hitter. In the fifth position, number 25, Mark McGuire, first base. Hitting sixth, number 36, Terry Steinbach, catcher. Batting seventh, number 28, Stan Javier, center field. Hitting eighth, number 9, Mike Gallego, third base. And in the ninth position, number 3, Alfredo Griffin, shortstop. Warming up from the A's bullpen tonight, starting pitcher for Oakland, number 47, Joaquin Andujar.
Diamond Vision, so it's got a lot happening.
Give us a bit of a tour as far as the whole Diamond Vision Center here is concerned. I guess we start off over there.
Yeah, to the booth to our left, we have our music set up. Roger Inman is the person who selects and plays back all of our music. And to Roger's right is our PA announcer, Roy Steele, who's been with us for, actually he's done every A's game since the team has been here from Kansas City. After Roy, we move down to the right a little more, and you have the core of our Diamond Vision crew, the frame store operator John Ward, slow-mo, our director Jim Lynch, who is really the busiest guy during a broadcast. He's cutting the cameras and getting us in and out of replays, all the fun stuff that you see out there on the board.
Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Radnich. Buddy Love, the world's greatest entertainer.
I'm Dick Stockton, and I just want to say hello.
I'm Greg Papa. I'm Jay Leno here, hoping you're all having fun at the game.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Berman from ESPN. Okay, I'll say it.
It is now time for the magic moment here at the Coliseum for many of you fans.
Take it from me, the Kentucky Derby has nothing on.
The swinging is happening thing here at Oakland Coliseum besides the A's and me.
A tremendous spectacle in American sports.
Unpredictable, always annoying.
Dot racing is
Dot racing.
Dot racing.
Dot racing.
Tell us about it, Roy.
Take it away, Roy.
Roy or Ray?
Roy Steele.
Here's Roy.
Hey, Roy, I love what you're trying to do. Take it away. Get out of here, you nut.
Take it away, Roy.
It's Roy Steele. Up to you, Pops.
Roy, man of steel. Sorry, I mean, I usually can do this right away, but hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, the best things in life are free, or at least they're very cheap. And here in Diamond Vision, we rely heavily on the best and the cheapest. Now, I'm talking about our interns. Just like the A's elephant, they work for peanuts. But tonight is Interns Night Out, as the A's and the San Francisco Examiner present the third annual Intern Handicap. The 5-lap race between a red, a white, and a blue dot, all ridden by interns. Here they come, young and eager, and most importantly, cheap. You can't tell the high-priced employees from the interns without a dot racing program, so you'll have to get one of those. Here they are, it's racing in the Intern Handicap. On the red dot, the weekend crew, Barry, Tracy, and Gene, the dot racing machine. White is for weekdays. Dean, Don't Call Me Craig Paquette. Deadpan Derek Martin and the famous Alan Ellery. And on the blue dot, the morning staff, Phil, Stephanie, Rich, and Neil. Go to sleep, kids. You got to be up soon. Oh, doctor. I want to be a doctor. I'm only an intern. Here we go into the fifth and final lap. Down the stretch they come. And it is on the outside, the red dot, the weekend crew, rolling to a victory without a trace of effort. I'd like to thank all the interns for their great work this season. It's not just a job, you know. It's a cheap ordeal. And now back to you, Mark and Fozzie.
You can't get up until you make the house shake. Now everybody clap your hands. Come on. Let's jam, y'all. Let's jam. Don't wait for your neighbor. Green eggs and ham.
as performed by one of Contra Costa County's most prominent citizens and an inaugural member of the Contra Costa County Citizens Hall of Fame, Mr. Bill Munoz.
Mel, you're on. Time now for This Week in Baseball quiz. Can you name the prominent New York athlete with a famous disease named after him and the Academy Award-winning actor who portrayed him in the film? The answer coming up.
Hello. Do you like to dance? Have fun? Learn to make a friend? Get out of the house? Learn a new step? Go out? Why don't you come down to the Garten and learn some salsa and the Hasseln and the bumping? Call me Sid Blechnaven today. What are you waiting for?
Your attention to the home plate area, where the Athletics Vice President of Business Operations, Andy Golich, is joined by the voice of the A's, Roy Steele. Roy is the only public address announcer the A's have had since they arrived in Oakland in 1968. During his 20 seasons with the Athletics, he has worked more than 1,600 games, including one Division Series playoff game, 10 League Championship Series games, 10 World Series games, and 1 All-Star game.
What'd you say?
Roy's voice has become synonymous with A's baseball. And tonight, in front of his family and friends, Andy would like to present Roy with a gift, thanking him for his 20 years of service to the millions of baseball fans who have come to watch the A's at the Coliseum. Thank you, and congratulations, Roy. Here's to another 20 seasons.
For it's hard you will find to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. At the seams, and life gets more exciting with each passing day, and love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at home? For as rich as you are, to be young at heart.
Batting fourth, number 4, Charlie Lansford, third base. In the fifth position, number 25, Mark McGuire, first base. Hitting fifth, number 24, Steve Henderson, designated hitter. Batting seventh, number 21, Dwayne Murphy, center field. Hitting eighth, number 6, Mickey Saddleton, catcher. And in the ninth position, number 3, Alfredo Griffin, shortstop. Warming up in the eighth bullpen, tonight starting pitcher for Oakland, number 34, Dave Steele. And now, tonight's final ceremonial first pitch will be tossed out by the voice of the A's, celebrating his 20th season with the team. Please welcome Roy Steele. Thank you, Ella and Roy.
Going back up to the booth.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 1987, Oakland A.
We are lucky here in the Bay Area, and particularly at the Oakland Coliseum, to have one of the most distinctive PA voices in all of baseball. Roy Steele began working as the PA announcer here in 1968 at the Club Around. He has missed but one game in that time, and that was for the wedding of his son. He's been the PA announcer for the Warriors, the Invaders, and world tennis, but he is most well known for being the voice of the A's, Roy Steele.
What's that for?
President Sandy Alston will be presenting the plaque to those honored here today. Is in his fourth season as the equipment manager of the A's. But he is
Welcome back. Since the A's moved to Oakland in 1968, fans have seen owners, players, managers, and umpires come and go. But one of the few constants over the last 30 or so years has been that of the powerful voice that reverberates throughout the Oakland Coliseum. He's A's public address announcer, Roy Steele.
1996 Oakland Athletics.
Born in the shadows of the Coliseum, Roy began his 29-year reign with the help of a former A's announcer.
Finley had given Monty Moore the responsibility of hiring the PA announcer. I don't think he got along, Finley didn't get along too well with his PA announcer in Kansas City. So I walked in and talked with Monty Moore. He hired me. It's just that cut and dried.
Leading off for the Athletics, center fielder, Alan Battle.
One year, they called me in, told me they were going to have to let me go because of financial reasons, so I knew that wasn't the truth. So I called Charlie Finley and told him what I thought about it. And in the meantime, they had John O'Reilly, who became one of the men on Channel 7, I think, in news after this happened, because they fired John O'Reilly because he wouldn't announce Josephine Pepitone as Josephine. because he had long hair, and Finley wanted him announced as Josephine, not Joe Pepton. And John wouldn't do that, so he was out, and they called me back up after a few games. I didn't know why. I said, okay, sure. I'd already said everything I wanted to say. It's a good thing I had my hair cut and trimmed my beard yesterday. I had the pretty bushy look before. Wild man from Willits. I was able to stay really hidden practically for years and years, but there's been a lot more interviews in the last few years. Well, Johnny Miller kind of made me more recognizable by telling his stories on national television about coming to the ballpark and hearing me, and the stories that he's told and the invitations that he's given.
Oh, Roy Steele, when I was a kid, I mean, he made the Coliseum for me. I'd come out for day games in the middle of the week in the summertime because the crowds were always pretty small. I knew I could sit pretty much anywhere I wanted. And I'll never forget, they're playing Baltimore one day. I always tried to come in to see the Baltimore games. The Orioles had a great ball club. It was 1969. And, you know, it's a real beautiful summer's day. And Baltimore brought in a pinch hitter. So I'm just kind of sitting there enjoying the sun and relaxing, sitting all by myself. And all of a sudden I hear, pinch hitting for Baltimore. You know, and all of a sudden, you all of a sudden you're looking up to the sky, like, because it sounded like the Lord was speaking to me, you know, Chico Simone, you know, and I'm like, amen, Lord, amen, you know. And that's the way I always looked at Roy. He was kind of like the voice of God.
Catcher, Terry Steinbach.
To me, today is probably the best public address announcer in baseball. I'm a big fan of Bob Shepard at Yankee Stadium, but I mean, Roy's got such this commanding presence when he announces a batter that everybody always has to, you know, perk up their ears. And I always wonder what it would be like to work with Roy on a broadcast. You know, you can imagine, like, Roy, it looks like this guy's got a pretty good curveball today, doesn't it? Your attention, please. Yes, it does. Thank you. You know, I really, after all these years, wondered what Roy was really like, whether that was his real voice or he just put that on for the public address. So we went out to a little cafe when the Orioles came to town the first time this year. And it was incredible. You know, the waitress came to our table. We're having breakfast, and Roy says, good morning, and welcome to our table. Today, I'd like a breakfast number 1, eggs over easy. Thank you. And everybody in the restaurant jumped up and started cheering. It was an incredible moment, and one that I'll not soon forget.
I remember in a day when people were starting not to be so nice as professional athletes, that they always refer to Joe Rudy, number 26, you know, for the Oakland Athletics, because he's has always been just a wonderful person, and we've always had you know, those, like I look at people like Steinbach, Bordick, McGuire, just go down the list of people who are good human beings, and because I think that's first, you know, being a good human being, regardless of whether you made it to the major leagues or not, is more important than that success.
Don't you love that guy? When we come back, we'll wrap up this edition of A's Inside Pitch as the A's get set to face one of the best pitchers in the league. A's Inside Pitch will continue right after this.
How long you been coming to A's games for?
15, 20 years.
Do you know what the PA announcer looks like?
No, but I know his voice.
You probably know what he sounds like, right?
Yes, I do. It's almost like God.
Any idea what he looks like?
No idea.
Do you know his name?
If you told me his name, I would know it.
The name Roy Steele. Does it ring a bell?
Roy Steele rings a bell. I'm thinking.
But nothing immediately.
Was he a catcher?
Since 1968, the year this stadium opened, Roy Steele has provided that classic voice we all associate with the Coliseum.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to McAfee Coliseum for tonight's game between the Toronto Blue Jays and your Oakland Athletics.
Everybody around here seems to know what you sound like, but nobody knows what you look like.
That's right.
You okay with that?
Yeah, because I try to keep it that way.
Hitting third. Number three, Eric Chavez. Third base.
The common description of your voice is, yeah, he sounds like the voice of God. How do you get your voice so deep, and how do you get that tone to it?
Well, you know, it's funny. I was never aware of the depth of my voice. I think when I was about 16, a man who had a music store in Hayward he asked me, have you ever heard your voice? And I said, no, because my voice had just changed. And he said, well, let's make a tape. And he had one of those old wire recorders. I couldn't believe it. And I still can't believe it.
Over the years, Roy's voice has actually become part of the experience of attending a baseball game here in Oakland.
When I came here for the first time when I was 10 in 1969, he was the announcer then. And I remember his voice very specifically.
You walk down the stairs and you see the grass and the field. You're ready to go. And then once the game gets going, you hear Roy's voice, season has started. Season has absolutely started. He's just part of the program, man.
Broadcasters and fans aren't the only ones that know Roy's voice. Even the opposing team's players like his style.
Don't know him by name, but played a lot of years with Anaheim, and he's got to be at least top 2 in all of baseball. I like the guy in New York, too.
Through these eyes, the 72-year-old Bay Area native has seen all 5 decades worth of A's baseball at the Coliseum.
It's amazing how the time has passed, but I grew up loving sports, and so it just fits into the nature of the beast. You know, I love the sports, and I never mind coming to work.
So the next time you're out here at the old ballpark, take a second to remind yourself you are listening to one of baseball's truest treasures.
You know, you feel like you have become a part of the atmosphere. You know, we're just going to go with, as long as there's an Oakland A's and I'm in the health to do it, we'll continue to do it.
Johnson's aboard, and let's listen in from the voice of 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old or whatever. From Roy Steele.
Voice of God.
Yeah, exactly.
Now batting, number 7, Bobby Crosby.
He's got a good teacher.
Yeah.
Roy Steele sitting right next to him.
And over time, his voice will change.
Yes, it will. Maybe not to the depths of Roy Steele's voice, but it will change.
Oakland, the Coliseum. It isn't pretty or fancy. There are no brick facades, no scenic vistas, an unassuming building from a bygone era. But to a city, to a team, it's not a building. It's home. Our home. It's not shiny, but it's ours. Since 1968, the Coliseum has been the home of the Athletics. 12 Hall of Famers donned Kelly green, Fort Knox gold, and wedding gown white inside these walls. It's seen 16 division championships and 6 World Series. Now, to all of us, it's more than a stadium. It's where we spent our youth. As we've grown up, the Coliseum has aged, but despite the warts, the fading paint, this Coliseum and this team are ours. We bring our children and our children's children because this place, this team, represent the best in all of us. Oakland and the Athletics. Tough, gritty, and hardworking. This team, this city, have come together working for one common goal, the ultimate prize. So Oakland, the time has come once again to put the real polish on this place and show the nation, the world, why we are the best home field advantage in baseball. So get up, stay loud, and remember, this is our time.
Roy Steele, what a pleasure. Roy, thanks for stopping by.
Well, I'm so glad to, Ray.
Voice of God.
Man, I go back with you to the days when Alvin Dark walked you out to catch me to see if I could pitch a little batting practice.
It was just a couple years ago, right?
That was just probably 16. No, it couldn't be 69 because you weren't here.
Right. 73 in my first year.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
All right.
Rajai Davis starts out the bottom of the third with a line drive single. Well, Roy, big day tomorrow. The bobblehead. A's are going to honor you before the game. How does that make you feel?
Can't believe it. Just can't believe it. There's so many people that should have a bobblehead ahead of me, but
I don't know about that.
I'm honored that that they would do this. This is really my family, myself, blowing our minds. You know,
just like
really
you, man.
great.
That's a great bobblehead. A lot of
Well,
times, you look at them and they say,
It's pretty good.
I am shaking my head a lot.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Got you behind the desk and the microphone.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I like that. When I first saw the picture of it, I thought, oh boy, I'm glad they didn't just build a stand up.
Yeah,
deal. That's great. Yeah.
Very good. 1968, huh?
1968.
Wow.
Who could believe it?
Now, you've told the story, but you have to tell it again.
What's that?
Was there one game that Charlie, all of a sudden you weren't working for the A's? What kind of happened? Was it somebody named Joe Pepitone? Or?
Yeah, I wouldn't announce the way he wanted it.
Can you say?
Well, it was. He wanted Joe Pepitone announced as Josephine Pepitone. when
Something was wrong.
Hair, you know? It used to be a real circus. He used to call me up on the phone, and I'd have to buffer for the organist and for the balls and strike guy and not tell them what he actually said about it. But he used to call and he'd tell me, you know, one more like these and you're out of here. And I said, I understand that, Mr. Finley. I understand. Like I told him, you know, like he would call me up and ask me to do something, and then I didn't do it. He'd call me back up and say, what's going on? And I said, I just couldn't bring myself to do that, Mr. Finley. And he said, well, next time. You're out of here. I said, that's understood.
It sounds like you heard that a few times.
Yeah,
the next time you're out of here, Roy.
Yeah. A few years go by.
Oh, man.
But it wasn't Charlie making a personal visit. It was a phone call from Chicago, right?
Well, he'd be there in Chicago, which he would always, I mean, he'd be on the phone. Well, you can do that. I mean, they'd be on the phone for the whole game. When he's back in Chicago. And then when he was here, he'd get on the phone.
He'd get on the phone sitting in the stands and call the manager and say, pinch hit for this guy.
Right, yeah.
So it sounded like Charlie wanted to call every department during the game.
Well, he did.
Quite so.
He believed he owned it. You know, we talk about, of course, Bob Shepard on the East Coast.
Right.
You know, for so many, I think 51 was his first year. And always talk about players who like to go to New York. Of course, Derek Jeter still has his name announced by Bob Shepard when he's introduced. And, of course, when they come to the West Coast, they always wanted to have the voice of God announced.
Well, you know, I didn't realize how close, and this is not derogatory, but Bob Shepard is almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
He is close to 100 years old. That's just amazing. I mean, he was announcing Mickey Mantle and Yastrzemski and everybody else.
Well, action from Rajai Davis, a stolen base, and he ends up at third on the air.
Yeah, Ryan Sweeney doing a good job taking the pitch for him as Matt Wieters had a quick release again, but Rajai Davis a big jump on Kevin Millwood, and the ball bounced, and his tourist tried to short hop it, and no way. You got to get in front of the ball and use your body in that case to block the ball, but a good break for the A's, moving Rajai to third. You know, Bob Shepard talked about Chikatoshi Hasegawa was his favorite. Do you have a favorite player, or you just all of them?
I used to say Geronimo Barroa.
Oh, yeah,
that's right.
You know, there were so many, but that one, I mean, some of these names got ahead of me. I can't, like some of the Japanese, and, I need to take a course.
Well, Roy, the A's just got, you remember the Ricky run? We always talk about Ricky getting a run and stealing a base. Well, Rajai Davis just singled, stole second, went to third on an E2, and with the infield playing in, Ryan Sweeney hit a ball up the middle. Is tourist because Rajai broke on contact. He was able to score. So we call it the Rajai run now. The Ricky run, the Rajai run.
It's great.
And how about Ricky in spring training working with the base runners?
Boy, just wait till Coco Crisp gets healthy.
Yeah.
You know, man, I mean, it's exciting. I'm just so happy that the team has gotten off to the start. That, you know, it's just great.
Well, we're happy that I'm sure the line's going to be very long tomorrow, coming out here to get in line first to get the bobblehead of the voice of God, Roy Steele.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Got to have it. And I know when we drive in tomorrow, we'll be seeing the long lines out. Well, I already have mine. Somebody already brought one up. We already have one.
We're
set.
So
It's good. Kipe's got his displayed there.
That's good.
Toward right field, Markakis drifts back. He's got it. Side retired. Roy, thanks for joining us. It's wonderful to see you. Good luck tomorrow, okay?
Hi, fans. We're so happy to have you here at the ballpark today for Roy Steele Bobblehead Day. It's hard to think of a more deserving PA announcer to win this bobblehead. Round of applause for Roy. I'm here with two longtime A's season ticket holders who would like to share some of their memories of Roy Steele. To my left is Bob, originally from Oakland, now lives in Fremont. And tell me when you first heard Roy's voice and what you thought.
It was April 10th, 1968, opening night. And I couldn't really describe the voice until I heard John Miller describe it later as the voice of God, and that was the perfect description.
Absolutely. And if you didn't hear that date, that was April 10th, 1968. That is the legacy of Roy Steele's career. To my right, I've got Greg from Clayton, and Roy, of course, signed his bobblehead today. How special is that to you, Greg, to have a Roy Steele signed bobblehead?
I've been collecting all the bobbleheads ever made from the A's, and this to go in my collection is fantastic. Yeah.
Tell me some of your memories of Roy Steele's legacy.
When I was a kid in '72, that's the voice you heard echoing all over. We didn't have the mountain here, what L. Davis's is, but what a great voice. Like that.
A great voice. The voice of God is the perfect nickname for it. Perfect name. Well, again, thank you to all the fans here to celebrate Roy Steele and his legacy. We hope you collected your bobblehead. Definitely a collector's item. And again, round of applause to Roy Steele. Thank you for being here, Roy.
Ladies and gentlemen, today the A's are proud to honor longtime public address announcer Roy Steele.
Thank you, Dick.
Roy was at the mic for the first Oakland Athletics game in 1968 and worked nearly every home game until 2006 when he was sidelined by illness. For generations of A's fans, his voice can conjure the lazy days of summer spent watching the A's with their families, or the excitement of October baseball. His professionalism and love of the game are respected throughout baseball. Roy Steele is the first public address announcer in Major League Baseball to have a bobblehead made in his honor. And it is a testament to love and respect felt by the longtime A's fans. Ladies and gentlemen, please salute the voice of God, Mr. Roy Steele.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much. It's very emotional to come down here at a time like this. Humbled by Mr. Wolf and the A's organization for honoring me this way. I thank Mike Crowley. When I got his letter telling me that he was going to do this, blew my mind. I announced Billy Bean. I was proud of that. That's a good name to announce. Billy Bean, Billy Bean. There's been so many memories. I would think that most of you are too young, but here we are referring back to April the 10th of 1968. There's so many memories. I look at the history of the Oakland Athletics, and it's just been a real trip the last 42 years as to what we've been able to do. 1972, 73, 74, 89. A couple that we missed. Going back to remembering Rick Mundy hitting the first home run in dead center field as we started. The Jim got base numbers, the Royal Rangers, and all of the history of the whole series that we went through. A bunch of no names that nobody really thought could
could pull off what he pulled off. Congratulations to the history of the Oakland Athletics.
Makes me very proud. My family and I would like to thank all of you fans who over the years have been a part of this great historical tribute to baseball and Oakland. Thank you. We're going to throw off the first pitch. And catching will be somebody you won't recognize. Catching the first pitch, one of the best friends I could possibly have in the world, man who's taken care of me for 10 or 12 years. And he's the guy that does the balls and strikes, Chester Farrow. Thank you, Chester. And once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. And remember, drive home safe.
Thank you, Roy. And now Roy Steele will do us the honor of tossing out today's ceremonial pitch to his partner in the press box, longtime ace scoreboard operator, Chester Farrow.
He's the all-time Major League Baseball leader in runs and steals, a 10-time All-Star, and the 1990 American League Most Valuable Player, elected into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in 2009.
Please welcome the greatest leadoff hitter of all time, outfielder Ricky Henderson.
Our last player honored tonight is none other than the most valuable player of the 1989 World Series. The ace of the A's amazing pitching staff of 1989. And the winning pitcher of games 1 and 3 of the 89 series. An all-star in 89, and a man who was simply known for his stare.
Please welcome 1989 World Series MVP, starting pitcher, Dave Stewart.
Our final honoree tonight is one of the main reasons why the 1989 A's were World Series champions. He took over the helm midway through 1986, and by 1988, the Athletics had gone from 6 straight years without a winning season to a World Series berth. It all culminated in a World Series championship in 1989. A newly elected member of Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame.
Please welcome manager Tony La Russa.